In the region, Jamaica teachers reject government's latest wage offer. While on the international scene, U.S.-Canada tariff delays. And in sports, well, Grenada locked into battle with USVI in CFU Under 14 Challenge. The first segment of the news comes to you compliments, Bryden and Miners. Welcome back. I'm Joseph Cardore with the details. Well, the health minister, that's Philip Talisford, is moving to dispel concerns that the statutorization of Grenada's public hospitals could lead to privatization. Speaking at a press conference earlier, he said the hospital will remain publicly owned and funded.
Hospitals will remain publicly owned, publicly funded, and committed to providing healthcare as a right, not a privilege. Healthcare workers' rights will be protected and enhanced. The statutory body will offer better career development opportunities, improved working conditions, and fair employment terms within a modern human resources framework.
And the statutorization process, he says, has now entered in the implementation phase, with the Grenada Hospital Statutorization Transition Team overseeing the transition.
We will establish the legal framework, constitute the governing board with individuals of integrity and competence, develop operational policies, and ensure adequate funding mechanism. Throughout this process, we will continue to engage stakeholders, healthcare workers, unions. Belongs to every single one of us. A vision for healthcare excellence.
Well, as the transition moves forward, concerns have been raised about the regularization of hospital workers. Chair of the Grenada Hospital Statutorization Transition Team, Ms. Lucia Livingston-Andel, addressed that issue.
The situation relative to public officers and particularly pension rights now seem to have been reversed following court rulings and the payment of pension and gratuities to effective regularizing a significant number of hospital workers. These existing staff members now have a fair and reasonable expectation to be regularized before they are transitioned to the statutory body.
Now, concerns have been raised about whether businesses will pass the VAT savings on to consumers during the upcoming VAT-free weekend. Now, Chief Corporate Communications Officer Russell John says the Inland Revenue Division and Consumer Affairs Department will be monitoring businesses through spot checks and secret shoppers.
So we have two monitoring agencies, our partners for the VAT-free days, and that's the Inland Revenue Division. They'll be doing monitoring. They'll be doing spot checks. So don't be surprised if they randomly show up at your establishment.
Well, John acknowledges that the agency may not have enough personnel to monitor every business and is therefore appealing to retailers to uphold the spirit of the initiative and ensure consumers benefit from the savings.
They will have some what we call secret shoppers. So they'll have assigned people to go in, shop at the location, and they'll be checking to see whether or not the VAT-free initiative was adhered to. All right, we'll also have the Consumer Affairs Department. They also will be partnering with Inland Revenue, and they're our second monitoring body. That being said, the reality of the situation is I don't think there's enough bodies within, as in physical human bodies, within those two agencies to track everybody, and so there's a possibility that some things may slip through the cracks. And so this is why our appeal from the get-go has been to the conscience and to the essence of what we're trying to do with the VAT-free days.
This other story to tell you about. Grenada is moving ahead with plans for a major recycling initiative targeting end-of-life tires and electronic waste. The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority has signed a memorandum of understanding with Canadian-based HUD Energy to explore an island-wide renewable powered recycling system. Now, the first phase will focus on tire recycling with plans to produce crumb rubbers and recovered fibers and steel, while creating local employment and skills development opportunities. Well, HUD Energy Chief Executive Officer Glenn Hudson says the partnership will bring significant environmental and economic benefits to Grenada.
We are doing site visits so we could gather the information, how big a footprint we're going to build a plant. And what we are trying to achieve is government support, where we work with the government to build the first ever recycling plant in Grenada that will be run solely with solar power and bio-waste energy. There's nothing of its kind right now in North America. Now, we have plants in North America, but they are still using fossil fuel. What we have decided to do, if we're going green, we're going green all the way.
Well, the project will also involve site assessments and discussions with key government agencies as plans move forward. General Manager of the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, Lyndon Robertson, says the partnership is an important step towards improving waste management and recycling on the island.
The program and the processing, recycling of the tires would be accompanied by a communication program where we would try as much as possible to get all the tires that we could access at the national level and at the regional level. Importantly, we do have incidences of disposal of end-of-life tires indiscriminately and illegally at various locations on the islands.
Well, this other story to tell you. Well, government, through the Ministry of Finance, has announced Ernest and Young Limited, EY, as the exclusive executive sponsor for Day 1 of the 3rd Annual Conference of Directors of Grenada's Public Sector Entities. The conference takes place on September 23rd and 24th at the Grenada Trade Center, with approximately 215 participants expected from 40 statutory bodies and state-owned enterprises. The conference aims to strengthen corporate governance, leadership, accountability, and institutional performance across Grenada's public sector. Day 1 begins with an opening ceremony and recognition ceremony, followed by a cocktail reception. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell is expected to deliver the keynote address. The conference, we can tell you, would feature regional and international speakers, panel discussions, and practical sessions focused on key governance issues affecting the public sector. Government in EY says the partnership reflects a shared commitment to building stronger and more effective public institutions. This concludes our local segment. The news comes to you through the kind compliments of Bryden and Miners.
digital age, before the world moved at the speed of a click, there was a signal connecting a nation. In 1986, a journey in broadcasting began in Grenada, a journey that would grow into a trusted voice across the country. For 40 years, through radio and television, we've been there for the stories that shaped our nation, the news that mattered, the voices that informed us, the moments that brought us together. Your stories, your voices, your moments. The Grenada Broadcasting Network, 40 years strong, one nation.
12 o'clock, stay with us for our second segment, which comes to you compliments Fortune Foods.
Before the digital age, before the world moved at the speed of a click, there was a signal connecting a nation. In 1986, a journey in broadcasting began in Grenada, a journey that would grow into a trusted voice across the country. For 40 years, through radio and television, we've been there for the stories that shaped our nation, the news that mattered, the voices that informed us, the moments that brought us together. Your stories, your voices, your moments. The Grenada Broadcasting Network, 40 years strong, one nation, one network.
In the Jamaica Teachers Association 62nd annual conference at the Ocean Coral Spring Hotel in Dunkins have rejected the government's latest wage offer, which was made on August the 14th. We get more in this and other regional developments from the OCM's Dale Enoch.
Here now is your OCM Regional News. I am Dale Enoch. Good morning to you once again. The Jamaica Teachers Association says its members have voted against accepting the latest wage offer from the government. In a brief statement, the newly sworn-in JTA President, Lasonja Harrison, said yesterday, a formal notification will be sent to the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, indicating the outcome and requesting the earliest possible date to continue the negotiations. The vote was taken at the ongoing JTA 62nd Annual Conference, with 213 votes being cast, 155 voted against, and 54 in favor. Ms. Harrison said 4 votes were rejected.
Our first course of action would be that we need to write to the Ministry of Finance for having sent us the offer. Then we need to respond in writing what the will and the voice of the teachers, what that is at this time. And they're saying, Presidential Corps, Admin, you need to go back to the table and have some further discussions and deliberations.
Prior to the start of the 3-day conference, the JTA had indicated that its members were expected to give a decision regarding the latest improved offer, including salary increases from the government.
So we do not qualify to be benchmarked and to be retrofitted or to sit in any of the existing portals that exist for the uniform policy as embedded in the document that guides the uniform policy for the public sector workers. Why the treatment of the teachers in this way? We continue to question. So that was one matter that was raised by a member on the floor. Also, the matter of the graduate allowance continues to be a lingering issue.
The conference is being held under the theme Reformation Now, Rebuilding a Resilient Education System, buoyed by the external father and unrelenting unionism. Artificial intelligence is said to be rapidly reshaping industries around the world, and the media no exception. Caribbean Broadcasting Union President Anthony Green says the region's media must remain focused on telling the Caribbean's true stories.
AI promises greater speed and efficiency, but also raises difficult questions about accuracy, authorship, jobs, public trust, and the values that should guide its use. Those conversations cannot be answered for us from somewhere else. We must answer them from a Caribbean perspective, grounded in the realities of our markets, the diversity of our languages and cultures, and our responsibility to the people that we serve.
Meanwhile, Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, in his address last evening, said AI and new technologies have made information more accessible, but they also present some serious challenges.
A YouTube video, a podcast, an Instagram reel, a TikTok clip, a WhatsApp message. This is an extraordinary democratization of communication. But every technological revolution brings opportunities and dangers, and we should not be romantic about either. The rise of social media and global platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Netflix has fundamentally altered how people communicate, how they consume information, and increasingly how they understand the world.
Mr. Green and President Ali were speaking in Georgetown, Guyana last night during the opening ceremony of the CBU's 57th Annual General Assembly. It is being held under the theme Caribbean Media and Artificial Intelligence. And that's your OCM Regional News. Have a good afternoon.
Our regional segment came to you through the kind compliments of Fortune Foods.
Have you heard?
filter, ha? Kami tali filter. Ozzy!
Welcome back. International news and sports is next. Well, the story to tell you where the United States and Canada have reached a last-minute deal to delay steep tariffs on billions of dollars of Canadian products, granting a temporary reprieve to exporters fearful of a renewed trade war between the trade partners. U.S. President Donald Trump made the announcement shortly before the 50% duty was due to take place. We get more in this Al Jazeera news report from Matthew Torres.
Well, according to Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, both countries are inching closer to a trade deal. In a new statement he released, Carney said that substantial progress has been made, although there is important work still to be done. The U.S. trade representative involved in these negotiations has also said that Canada's deal will include comprehensive market access for all American goods, digital alignment, and economic security commitments. President Donald Trump has delayed the 50% tariffs on Canadian goods for 3 days, giving both the U.S. and Canada that time to finalize details of this deal. We have yet to find out what concessions are being considered. We still don't know if the Canadian tariffs on U.S. cars, dairy, and liquor will be lifted, and we still have yet to find out if the U.S. will ease tariffs on certain Canadian sectors. What we are hearing for the first time, according to that Truth Social from President Donald Trump, is a reference to the Keystone XL pipeline. That was a project, oil project from Canada to the U.S., which effectively was abandoned in 2021 after years of opposition. On Truth Social,
Well, South Korea's annual joint military drills with the U.S. will be cut short by 6 days at the request of Washington in a defense ministry announcement. We get more in this report.
South Korea cut short its military drills with the U.S. It says the war games will be shortened by 6 days at Washington's request. The drill will now conclude on August 21st rather than the 27th as planned. President Trump has announced plans to curtail exercises with South Korea, citing what he called a very good relationship with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Seoul's foreign minister said they were unaware of Trump's plans.
Well, that story, in fact, takes us to the end of the international segment. We get ready, sporting fans. Your segment comes up next. Well, sporting fans, here's what we can tell you. Grenada's under-14 footballers are playing their final group stage match of the CFU Challenge Series today against the USVI. Well, the Tier 2 Group D match kicks off, in fact, just over 45 minutes ago. Now, following a rest day, which was yesterday, the final group stage encounter will determine if Grenada can secure the top spot in the group to advance directly to the tournament's semi-final. The Young Spice Boys, well, they started their group campaign with an intense 3-2 victory against St. Lucia. The team maintained its unbeaten streak by securing a 1-1 draw against Suriname. We can tell you that only the top teams from Group D will advance to the semi-finals. This other story to tell you. Well, Grenada's senior men's national football team, the Spice Boys, they have been joined in Group C of League B in the upcoming CONCACAF Nations League. They will face Cuba, St. Kitts and Nevis and Benin in a double round-robin campaign played across September, October and November FIFA match windows. We can tell you that St. Kitts and Nevis will host their opening fixture in September, with Grenada carded to host the October window before Cuba stages the final round in November. This other story to tell you about. Well, Grenada's top order batter, Jada Terrell, well, she has been selected for the West Indies 22-member high-performance camp in Antigua. Well, the 2-week camp, which is already in progress, it forms part of preparations for the 2022 ICC Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup. Well, Terrell earned her selection following an impressive showing at the CWI Rising Star Under-19 Championship, where she finished as the Windward Islands lead run scorer. One of her standard performances came against Jamaica, where she scored a crucial 40 runs against a disciplined bowling attack. Well, the camp will focus on technical skills, tactical awareness, physical development, and mental conditioning as the CWI prepares for the region's top young cricketers for the international engagement. This other story to tell you, well, the Caribbean Premier League has named Dwayne Bravo and Ian Bishop as the inaugural inductees into the newly established Hall of Fame. Bravo have won 5 CPL titles as a player and another as a coach, while Bishop has become one of the tournament's most recognizable voices through his commentary. The pair will be formally introduced at a gala dinner in Barbados in September. Well, meanwhile, CPL action continues tonight with the St. Lucia Kings facing the Guyana Amazon Warriors at the Darren Sammy Stadium. And then we can also tell you that the Antigua and Barbuda Falcons, they're set to meet St. Kitts and Nevis, that's tomorrow, followed by St. Lucia Kings against Jamaica Kingsmen on the 21st. And later in the week, we're going to see action where the Falcons, they would play the Trinbago Knight Riders. Don't forget, you can follow all of the action live right here here on Classic 105.5 and 105.9. And in international cricket, West Indies players Justin Graves and Haley Matthews, they have made history by both being named the ICC Players of the Month for July. It's the first time the honor has been achieved by two West Indian players. That story takes us to the end of the sporting segment. We take a quick break, and when we come back, we do a recap of the headlines. 25 minutes gone past the hour of 12 o'clock. Now for a recap of the headlines. VAT-free businesses face monitoring checks. In the region, Jamaica teachers reject government's latest wage offer. On the international scene, US and Canada, well, they delay a tariff deal. While in sports, Grenada, they're locked in battle as we speak with the US Virgin Islands, and this is all action in the CFU Under 19 Challenge. On behalf of the entire news team, I want to say thanks for their assistance. I'm Joseph Cardore saying thanks for being part of the conversation. We'll do this another place and time. Have yourself a great afternoon.